Welcome to the Tom Matt Show. You are walking through the front door of the refirement zone. And now, your host, Tom Matt.
Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Got another Journey into Higher Ed episode coming up with a fireball. Another early morning gym kid who I met who's going to light the world on fire. All these young people who go to the gym early, get their time in, I get to know them. I'm telling you, I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to the ones that have been on the show. But before we get there, I want to remind you last week, Dr. Ken Stringer was here. First time I ever interviewed a pediatrician. 42 years. He's a pediatrician, taught at Michigan State University, still does a little bit. And he is very, very well known across mid-Michigan. I asked him how many patients he's handled in his 42 years. Can you imagine from birth to 18, everybody, is a pediatrician's kind of game plan. You know, it's like, because I'm asking these questions because I'm like, I really know I'm a dad, but it's like, you know, do you really go into like, and a lot of times they do, they go up to 18. So thousands and thousands and thousands of young people that he's touched. And now he's touching the children of young people that he was right there in the delivery room. And then the grandchildren of some of them. It's like this, how awesome is that? It's just amazing. Check that one out. Dr. Ken Stringer. He'll be back. He was wonderful. Guest today, she's dynamite. This young woman is going places. Ella Bosley. I should have asked you, Ella, is it Bosley or is it Bosley?
It's Bosley.
It's Bosley. Okay. Let me do this real quick. I should have asked her that beforehand. Everybody, I've only known her for a couple of years now. Hi, Ella. Grew up in a small town, Flushing, Michigan. We're going to hear her whole story of why she came to Michigan State University. And, you know, you guys, every time we have a student in here in the Journey into Higher Ed, it's every single time. It's always different. It tends to get emotional. And this girl is so prepared. I asked her for a few little bullets and she sent over like a 5-page outline. I mean, but that's how, you know, when you get organized young people who are really, really on top of their games, like Bergen Loprich, who was on recently, who got hired at Michigan State. Good for you, Bergen. Way to go. Who set the world on fire. I mean, these kids got it going on. And I mean, she got into Michigan State University, took her first indoor cycling class and instantly fell in love. I don't want to go into all too much of this. I want her to talk about this because she's currently an undergrad at Broad College of Business, but she's in a dual master's program too that I found out about, that I was unaware that they even did this kind of stuff. But I mean, she's always expanding on the horizons. Let's just leave it there. We got a young person. She's dynamite. She's coming. Look out. You want to hire a good one. She's got a good internship going this summer. We'll talk about that. I want to welcome to the radio show, the podcast, my friend, Ella Bosley. Ella, welcome to the Journey into Higher Ed. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here today.
How you feeling, girl?
Feeling great. Feeling ready to share my expertise here with you guys on Michigan State and ready as always.
All right. Well, you know what? Your notes are so specific and you're so dialed in with all of this, even though we never script diddly crap around here. I appreciate all the effort you put into that. Let's start right at the beginning. I mean, you're actually a COVID kid. You were in high school. Let me set that up a little bit. You were a sophomore, according to my notes. You were a sophomore in 2020 in high school. So you got to get, just to give everybody a kind of a picture of your age and who you are. You went through that whole phase of the history, good, bad, or indifferent of our world. Start from there. Michigan State, the Ella Bosley story. Go ahead, hon.
Yes. So thank you so much. I grew up my whole entire life in Flushing, Michigan. That was my whole life, small town, you know everybody, see everybody you know around there. And yeah, COVID hit sophomore year. I was completely shut down from school, missed homecoming, I think we hit prom finally at the very end there. But yeah, we were completely shut down from going to seeing my best friends every day to nothing. Completely changed the way we lived. So even coming back to school, it was never really even the same. Everybody just would have their AirPods in and not really talking to each other. So that communication aspect was gone for a while.
I always wondered about that, Ella, because it's like, you know, how were you kids when you did come back? Had things changed? So it did change a little bit.
Honestly, like completely. Before we weren't even using computers. After that, it was completely computer based at Flushing. So it was a lot different coming back from that.
Okay, so you're leaving small town. You got that kind of under your belt. It's like, okay, you got to be resilient in this world. What the heck, what was the point of coming about 40 miles, west? Because Flushing's about 30, 40 miles east of Lansing, East Lansing. What made you start to think that way?
Yeah, so I definitely knew I wanted to get out of a small town type of way. I didn't want to go to a small college where I knew everybody. But then I thought of Michigan State, and yes, it's a Big Ten school, but it's also a community. So you may not know somebody you're walking past you on the street, but also you walk into a classroom within the Broad Business College and you have like 10 friends in there. So no matter what avenue you take coming into Michigan State, you will always make a community coming out.
Okay, talk a little bit about your family. I mean, we get started on this thing. We're missing the boat a little bit on, the whole this is your life kind of thing. But this whole show is this is your life. So talk about your mom and dad and your sister. Your sister's a student at Michigan State as well. Give them some love. Share their names and how come they're so awesome.
Yes. So Christy and Kevin Bosley are my mother and father. Love them to death, love them dearly. Try to visit them at least once a month when I can with the craziness going on campus. And then my sister is also a Michigan State student. So she's going into her junior year this upcoming semester. And she's been doing amazing things as well. I mean, she's my built-in best friend, everything like that.
That's so great. What's her name?
Olivia Bosley.
Olivia, that's right. I met Olivia. Olivia, I know. We know each other if we see each other. That's fantastic that you have that relationship with your sister, and she's just a year behind you. And I'll tell you guys, when you see these two girls, I thought you guys were twins. I swear to God, it was like it's a little bit different, but yeah, that's so close. It's so super cool. I'm glad that I'd love to meet your parents someday, and so maybe someday we will. When we talked a little bit in your pre-show yesterday, talking about some topics and stuff. One thing that kind of struck me with you is you're a hardworking young woman. I mean, you've been working ever since you've been teaching spin. You got certified as a spin instructor, and we're going to talk a lot about that down the road. But that financial independence that you started to develop as a young person, I think that was a thread to me that meant a lot. And I think with your knowledge now being a senior, and you're actually going to be a concurrent grad student as well. I mean, you've got some reps under your belt with the financial side of things. I was pretty impressed with your track record. You've done well. You haven't had to take on a lot of debt. And so talk about that a little bit. We can get going. We got about a minute and a half to go in this segment. So we'll set that all up and we can come back to it. But please start that whole thread, would you please?
Yes, of course. So my parents definitely had the thought for me coming into college that I'd be financially independent. And honestly, it kicked me in the butt at first, but it was absolutely amazing. It was the exact catalyst that I needed to be ambitious in my role and everything at Michigan State, I feel.
Hold on a second there, Ella. When you say your parents were a big incentive, in what way? What way were your parents very positive influence for you? And what kind of tips do you have? Anything you could share?
Yeah, with my mom being a single mother and everything, my parents were divorced. So seeing both of those sides, they both had to work very hard. My mom was pushing 60 plus hours in the ICU. Then from there, my dad's a chef. So he would work every day, 7 days a week, no break ever. So kind of seeing that work ethic from them and seeing how they came from nothing and brought themselves up kind of gave me that financial independence.
I see. So you took the examples led by your parents, which is awesome. That they were just hardworking people, and as the financial lead-in came into college, you guys started to figure it out. Excellent. Okay, let me reset this thing because we are coming up to break. But that's just the tip of the iceberg on the financial side. Everybody, because Ella's got a lot more to add to this and things that she can share with you, especially with her work at the university. Resetting again, Ella Bosley, small town Flushing girl. She's a senior at Michigan State University, another one of our early morning gym kids that I've met. So many of them, at least now. I got to think about a dozen of you guys over the last, we've been doing the show 15 years, so probably the last 10, 12 years. And it's just wonderful to have them come in occasionally and share their knowledge and their experiences, why they love MSU, and get it straight from the student. Because when you ask the student the question, guess what? They give you some pretty good answers sometimes. Again, Journey into Higher Ed. My guest today is Ella Bosley. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Thank you, Sandy, for bringing us back. The only time you ever hear Sandy's voice doing those bumpers. Mitch, Vanessa, all of the support staff behind what we do here. And then I talk. What we do here. And we got to talk about Brock Fletcher and the selling team of Keller Williams Realty, because they're a sponsor of this segment and the following segment. They're our main. They're just our sponsor for the show, and they're just wonderful, awesome people. They've helped us so much. They helped us sell Big House Holt. Told you the story 100 times, 200 times. Helped us buy Little House Lansing, thanks to Mikey Deadman, where we're recording this episode today. It's wonderful. It's great. Went from having to mow grass and clean a built-in pool and all that stuff. Took me about, 3-4 hours I timed it when we first moved in this house. Took me 8 minutes. It was just like freedom. It was so awesome. Brock, I guess, got to say thank you for all of that, because he's just so great. Phone numbers to call Brock, okay? 517-853-6408. 517-853-6408 is the office number. His cell phone number is 517-303-3262. 517-3. You guys don't know these numbers by now. I mean, I've only said them 1,000 times. 517-303-3262. That one is the key. That's Brock's cell phone number. Text him, leave him a voicemail. He will get back to you that day. He always does. And he likes to get the voicemails. He's up early. He's like 4 o'clock in the morning guy, getting out there doing the grind. Love the guy and all his things he does. You can go to kwsellingteam.com is their website. kwsellingteam.com. Sweet, totally nice website. Very, very well done. He was using that fancy photography before it became just ubiquitous with everybody, and so it's still top end. Very, very nice. kwsellingteam.com. You go to our website, tommattshow.com, bottom of the homepage, boom, boom, click on it. Away you go. We got several of our friends and our sponsors there, and we want to make it easy peasy for you. You can always go get the reality of real estate, where we talk real estate issues galore, and probably have some questions there, and look up some of those titles, and we'll probably answer a lot of the questions, and it's all free. Free. So thank you again to the team at the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Joan Wright, lastly, I want to say, Joan, thank you for listening to the show. Friends of Brock and customer of Brock, we appreciate you listening to us on WKER every Sunday. Thank you for doing that, Joan. We appreciate you. Hope you're feeling well. All right, back to the show today. Some of my favorite shows, The Journey into Higher Ed, where you get to meet young people who are just dynamite. And I got another one for you. I mean, there has not been one kid on this show. I shouldn't say kid. One young person. I retract that. One young person been on this show who is not like top shelf. Absolutely no question about it. Another one, Ella Bosley. Ella Bosley. So you're a senior in your HR. What is the major that you're in at the Broad Business College over there, Ella?
Yeah, it's human resource management.
Okay, and that covers a big swath of business, right?
Yes, definitely. You're looking at policies, hiring, firing, all that type of stuff there.
Okay.
Workforce planning, strategy.
So what are you doing this summer? Just give them a quick snapshot on what your grind is for this summer, because you jumped right out of school. I mean, you were like, we start booking this the interviews and the calls, and it was like, yep, I work till 5. How's that going?
It's been absolutely incredible. This week was my first week at Consumers Energy. I'm their workforce planning and strategy intern. Wow. Has 1 week I've learned so much. I mean, from the way utility works in Michigan to how can we make the customers happy and cut down those costs? So absolutely amazing.
So working for an organization like that has a lot of humanity. And they're probably some of their largest costs next to their material is the human side of things. How is that, how is that shaping your career? And how would you, again, going back to influencing young people's decisions, what would you say about these job-related internships?
In my opinion, internships is probably one of the best things you can do while you're in college. You're meeting people in other industries and making those connections, not just on LinkedIn, but you are also bringing yourself up, bringing your capital up within your education, already I have met with about 3 leaders within Consumers Energy, which is huge. Getting insights from them. Where can I grow? Where can I do in this company? And even from there, maybe you'll get like a full-time offer after. So it's a great way to prove yourself what you can do.
How did you wind up wrangling this gig?
Yes. So when I was getting ready to start just applying for internships, I've always been just in the hospitality realm of HR. And I knew I wanted to just spread my wings because there's so much you can do within business. And I was on, again, LinkedIn, Handshake, just applying. Consumers Energy reached out to me. I really like their mission statement. I really like how they care for their customers over costs. Really meant a lot. And did the interview, and it was just up from there.
There you go. Now, see, there's a good tip that you just buried into your conversation there. Putting yourself out there, and then consumers kind of found you. I told you the story when I found Bergen Loprich, the student that we interviewed recently. That's how I found him. It was on LinkedIn. One of the first things that I would say to a student, if we're having lunch or we're having a coaching session or something like that, is I want to see your LinkedIn profile. The first thing I did is looked at yours, and so. I mean, away we went. Let's step back to where we were in the previous segment, though, and finish that thread on your financial independence and how you're managing things with your jobs and everything. Talk a little bit about that. How impactful to you is it? Where are you? I mean, you're open and you share your debt load with people. Tell people where you're at if you'd like. And because I was very impressed with your number. Just kind of share that whole story, would you please?
Yeah, of course. So being financially independent, you definitely just have to have a balance of work, life, and social. So, I mean, finding that balance was definitely tough for me at the beginning. I was all work, no social life, and that's just not the way to live life. So going more onto that, I picked up a part-time job. I then went into cycling as well, which is just a huge passion and also another moneymaker there. And then also going into like brand deals and branching out that way. So there's so many connections, so many things that you can do to make money on campus. It's just finding that balance in your social life as well. But kind of adding on more to that, you also need to be organized. So the way that I stay organized with all of these things that I've got going on my plate is a calendar. Honestly, it's as easy as that. Even an iPad, getting a notebook, anything like that. Just stay organized, stay on top of your things, hit those deadlines, and you'll be set.
So for all of your coursework, everything that you started, did you have that calendar application embedded in your head when you first started as a freshman, or did you just sort of figure it out?
Honestly, I just figured it out. Coming in, I didn't even have an iPad. I just had my MacBook, and I bought an iPad about 2-3 months in. Got Notability on that. That's like one of my main points of staying organized. And then honestly, my junior year is when I started using Outlook calendar and things like that to just mark it down. It shows up as soon as you get onto your Microsoft, and it's great.
Outlook's an awesome tool, and you use it a lot. I can vouch for that myself. I'm going to carry this through, Ella, because we're coming up on break here. Journey into higher ed. My guest today is a total fireball, Ella Bosley. She's telling us a little bit about her internship, her money management. She's got a lot more that she wants to share on her journey into higher ed. It's been a very interesting ride for her. When I meet these young people who are early morning regulars, regulars, not like once in a while kind of stuff, they are, as I said, top shelf. Again, Journey into higher ed. Our guest today, Ella Bosley. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Tom Matt Show. However, you're picking us up on the broadcast side of radio, podcast side, clips, who knows, but I'm grateful for however you're doing it. You know, if you're seeing my face, awesome. If you're hearing my voice, even better. That's great. And please remember to utilize our sponsors, which again is Brock Fletcher, the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. I love doing the testimonial reads for Brock because it's just, I could do my same read every time and say, you know, the story of how Brock gave me that on the hallway of the radio station that time, like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. And he said, you know, that time to sell your big house was coming. And I'm like, and I did not even know who he was. And I'm like, dude, I don't need to hear that right now. I'm just getting kids through college. My wife is just our dream house. Me telling her we want to sell our house. You're joking, right? He wasn't joking. He told me the number right then and there. And this was about 2 years before we actually sold Big House Holt, our dream house. And that place it's amazing. Built that place from dirt and did every little plant and that pool and all that stuff. Oh yeah, it was quite the adventure. And so to have your dream house, you sell it, you got to find somebody like Brock Fletcher, just like Ruth did in Holt, another Holt person, because we used to be Holt. It was scary and exciting all at the same time. I can verify for dang sure. It was scary and exciting all at the same time. We had 3 mortgages. I think I've told you guys that. We had 3 mortgages for like 3 months. Tell me that wasn't stressful. I mean, I never knew what carrying cost was until I had 3 mortgages. Oh my God. Thank you, Brock, for helping me with that. It was scary and exciting at all the same time. However, the selling team was patient, knowledgeable, and extremely helpful. I would not hesitate to recommend the selling team to anyone, especially a first-time home buyer. That's Ruth from Holt. I'd 100% back that up. You can trust Brock so much, Stacy and Mikey Deadman, the whole crew over there. Again, 517-303-3262 is the cell phone number to Brock. Text him, leave him a voicemail. He will absolutely get back to you. I promise you. All right, journey into higher ed with another fireball, Ella Bosley. This girl has got more juice than me. And I've been told I got a lot of juice. But I'm telling you, this girl is just like, maybe that's one of the reasons. When we first met Ella, it was, of course, at the gym upstairs. And it's just, you're just sort of flying around like you always are flying around doing stuff. And it was just so crazy. And now you become quite the, we were talking about your side jobs and everything. And going through your notes, we can go through your notes and follow that whole thing. But the whole acceptance of that, of getting into the spin, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here. And I just want you to, because I know that we want to spend a lot of time on this. Talk about your passion for this. How did that all come to be with you becoming such a phenomenal spin instructor?
Yes. So before coming to Michigan State, I didn't even know indoor cycling was an option. I didn't know it was a workout. I didn't know it was a thing. And I've been working out before then for like 3-4 years. So coming to Michigan State, I went to my first cycle class. I was like, why not try it out? It kicked my butt. And I was like,
was that Tom Mitchell's class?
I cannot remember, honestly. I do not think so, though.
Okay. Because we both know Tom Mitchell, who just retired from Michigan State. He was the first spin instructor. Sorry to interrupt you, but I know for sure you've taken his class.
Yes, killer.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead, continue.
Amazing. But I walked into my first cycle class, kicked my butt, left it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And just from there, I just fell in love with it. So I was just thinking to myself, like, how can I bring my passion and teach others? How can I make it into a job? So I got in contact with Bianca, our manager, and again, it was just positive from there. Again, falling just strictly in love with cycling, from the music to my cycling, people that come every week and making those connections and community. It's absolutely incredible. So it doesn't even feel like a job at this point. It's my passion. It's what I love, bringing wellness to students and everyone else too on campus. And it's the best thing I can honestly say that I've done on this campus.
How long did it take for you to become certified?
So I did get fully certified last summer. Michigan State did host an event for us and everything. And it was a full day event. So, I mean, it was an 8-9 hour event.
Yeah, it was a long one.
But yeah, it was a long day, but definitely worth it.
Dr. Bianca Guess, she's amazing. And she's leading a crew of young people over there and she's young herself. She puts a lot of energy into you guys. And now that you have the new rec center, talk a little bit about that. Your new cycling room and the rec center that we have now open at Michigan State, taking the place of our old home stomping grounds, kind of sad, but on the other hand, really glad.
Yes. So leaving IM West, it was sad, but there's more things to come, better things coming up, and going into the rec center and seeing everything they've done. There's not one thing I can think that would need a change. Absolutely beautiful, from downstairs to the locker rooms to the cycle room. I mean, in the cycle room, we have about 50 bikes. We will have TVs and everything in there. better stereos, better mic setup and everything as well, and new bikes as well there. So very excited to bring that to the participants, bringing a new vibe, and it's going to be great.
If people want to get into your class specifically, don't they have to register? Share how that's done. I know it's not that difficult, but there is a little bit of a system, and all students, anybody with an affiliation, I talked to Joel about this recently, one of the managers, just the other day, anyone with an affiliation to the university can go through the new portal that they set up at the front end of their website and get access to classes like Ella's talking about. So talk about just that your typical schedule from last year. Yeah, I know you don't know your schedule yet for next fall, but just on a typical thing, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy to sign up. And I definitely recommend every incoming student to try it out as well. You just go ahead and look up, I think it's MSU Rec Sports, if I'm correct. Yep. And then you'll see class registration from there. Just hit it there and you'll see like so many different classes. I mean, from cycling to now our Pilates and having the reformers is also going to be a huge hit next semester, but very easy. You get to meet new people as well. And it's amazing. We're
going to talk more about your side hustle in the 5th segment. We're saving that for the 5th segment, everybody, but we're kind of jumping in here. So back to your academic side of things, because the spin has been a huge influence on your academic success. Now, I didn't ask you your actual GPA, but I kind of had a feeling for it. What is your actual GPA?
Yes, I think after last semester, I was hitting a 3.7.
There you go. So she's above a 3.5. That's I'm talking about with high-end kids taking hard classes. It's really good. So talk about the undergrad grind and your master's. We got a minute and a half to go in this one. We'll finish the thread when we come back. But start that setup with that, the undergrad grind. I mean, I know the spin has helped you a lot, but what else have you done and figured out that makes life so much better?
Yes. Being an undergrad is not easy. I mean, but get in there, do whatever you can, discussing like even the late nights. I mean, you're going to be in a competitive environment as well. But just making sure to stay focused and always looking at that end goal, whether that's you graduating, whether that's you getting accepted into a new program, anything like that. So always, I wanted to graduate early. That's always been kind of my thing on my bucket list, just because graduate early, get into your master's degree or even a full-time job. Before even coming to Michigan State, I didn't know this was an option, but I was also a part of the Human Resource Association e-board, which is also another thing. Get involved in organizations in your college is huge. But going off of that, I learned about the Master of Human Resource and Labor Relations. And I mean, absolutely crazy. You jump in, you get to start taking graduate courses without even being graduated from your undergrad. You're saving money and you're cutting your time.
Save it there. Save that thought right there. We'll have that as a jumping off point because we can come right back where you pick up the master's and because I had no idea that the university is offering these dual programs now, which is very, very smart. And if you leverage these things correctly, again, you can spend your money wisely. We've been talking about that with Elle. Elle is another one of these kids who she's watched her money really well and she's done a great job. And now she's not in over her head at all. She's got a great internship going with Consumers Energy right now for the summer. Things are going in the right direction. These are the kind of kids you want to talk to who are actually living that life and walking that walk. Again, Journey into Higher Ed, Ella Bosley, the Fireball. This is the Tom Matt Show.
This segment of the Tom Matt Show is brought to you in part by the Source of Light and Power by band leader Ark of All and broadcaster Mitch Anderson. Hear the sound that is endorsed by Odyssey headphones, linear tube audio, RME converters, and Peluso microphones at sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Tom Matt Show, Journey into Higher Ed. Love doing Journey into Higher Ed's episode so much. There's so many of our categories on the show that I would like to even explore, just making that its standalone podcast, because the Journey into Higher Ed, they're always different. They have a similar theme. It's like the reality of real estate. We could do that too. It's just, it was always kind of something that we wanted to do with the radio show, but hey, we just keep trying with your side game, side action. You just keep swinging out there, baby. Keep swinging. Remember our website, tommattshow.com. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, if you have any gripes, if you have anything, send it to us. The TikTok does well. Our Instagram and Facebook does really well. My little 1 minute, hashtag dad talk, hashtag girl dad stuff. That's all over the place out there. Please check those all out. Try to stay very active on social media. Again, TomMattShow.com is our website. Ella Bosley is our guest today with the Journey into Higher Ed. Ella, how would you like people to get a hold of you? You're very aggressive out there working. You've got a great internship going with a huge company, becoming very knowledgeable. But that's just you. You're just solid. So how would you like people to connect with you? Would you be available for speaking engagements? Any of that kind of stuff? Please take it. Go ahead and share your info.
Yes, I would love for either incoming students or current students or honestly anybody to reach out to me, either for my phone number that will be 810-280-9249, or also by email, which will just be Bosley, B as in boy, OSLEYEL @msu.edu.
There you go. Easy enough. Easy peasy. Away you go. And she even threw out her phone number, so that tells you she's legit. So. Don't spam her to death, but send her a text and she'll get back to you. Ella Bosley is got it going on. So we're talking. When we left off the previous segment, Ella, we're talking about your academic career and how you're now into this hybrid program here, the MHRLR Master's Acceptance thing. Let's continue talking about that now. As your undergrad grind, as you're working, as you're not going in too heavy with your debt load. You're doing everything. You're hitting all the right buttons. Are you feeling good about your career so far, and all of the things that you've accomplished?
From where I was freshman year to now, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you did that. From crying to stressing to anything and beyond. Just keep pushing through because you'll get it. You'll always get it. There's always a rainbow at the end of the tunnel, and you just have to keep telling yourself that. With the MHRLR Master's Acceptance, my main thing there was how can I jump right into either right after I graduate or while I'm still taking undergrad classes? And two, how can I save money? Because again, that financial independence and focusing on that and having, again, that work life, social life and balance overall is key. So that's probably the main.
How is that excuse me, but how is that going for you? Because you're really wound up. You've already talked about your spin and your time at the gym. You spend a lot of time at the gym. You're very active on your group work with school. You're in your classes. But what about that social, that balance, that work-life balance kind of thing? How is that going for you? Have you figured that out?
I will not lie. At first, it was very tough. Freshman year, it was really hard. I was trying to get into Broad. I was working my butt off while working part-time as well and slowly getting into cycling. And I want to say sophomore year is when I kind of sat myself down and I was like, okay, you need a life as well. And again, that's when I whipped out my calendar and any time you can find, even if it's just for an hour and hanging out with friends, just to give yourself a mental break, like you need that social life, you need that mental break to give yourself an overall break.
I'm really glad you said that because that calendar, I'm the same way. And if you don't, you guys, if you can get those 15-minute, half-hour chunks, you line everything up on your calendar, do like Ella. If you got questions, hit her up. Because I see this a lot with social media with the students, especially on the TikTok stuff, the MSU stuff, and some of the students, they're kind of lonely out there. There are students like Ella Bosley who will be glad to help you. Reach out to her and lean on her because that's an excellent move on your part because those 15-minute chunks that you find, I call it chunking time. When you find those, right? As you're finding these chunks of time, you're getting more work done. And all of a sudden, this little bit of 15 minutes here, and you just put it all on your calendar. You see a little spot in there, mark it in there and put it down and keep track of it. What do you think about by using your calendar as kind of using a leverage like your small wins list, Ella? Because I know you with your training and all that, you can reflect back and go, wow, like you said, and I wrote this down in quotation marks, you did that. You did it. The calendar. Do you give yourself a pat on the back for all the small wins you have when you look at your calendar and you say, wow, that was a busy week?
I will not lie. Especially during the semester and cycling's full force and everything, there's days where from 6 a.m. to like 10, 11 p.m., it's go, 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 go. And then again, like you said, you look back at that and you're seeing yourself and you're like, wow, I did this. I accomplished that and I can do it again next week.
That's the calendar. The calendar is like the key, everybody. And if we take one thing away from this episode with Ella, it's like You've got to dive into your calendar. Now you're being a human resource manager, excellence. Let's move on to the next point. Your takeaway for Spartans. What did you mean by that when you were saying that in your notes? You're saying there's a takeaway for Spartans and you wanted to talk about that. What is that?
Yes. I think being a Spartan is about finding your community. So that can be finding your niche or just even planning ahead. So again, like talking to advisors early within your college, looking into those shared mastery programs within your college. And again, don't be afraid to aim higher as always. So as a freshman, I was in the residential business community. So that's huge. Again, connecting with other business.
What year were you then?
Freshman year.
So, okay, there we go. Now let's make sure we emphasize that, because your first year, you were already starting to get into these groups these weren't like basket weaving groups. These were like business related, right? Talk about that, please.
Yeah. And honestly, before I even came to MSU, I found the opportunity, I applied to it and I got in. It is like where you live with other people within the business community. It's in McDonald Hall. Absolutely incredible. We do volunteer events, seminars, and honestly, at the end, you do this huge presentation. And that's probably one of my huge takeaways, even now as a senior. So great opportunity. You meet people. You also meet professors and advisors through it. It's a great opportunity for business.
So have you maintained your membership to is this like a club or a group within your college?
It's more of like a group. Freshman year, it's all of the seminars, and that's when you have to do like all of the events and everything. And then from there, if you do want to become like a mentor for it, you can do that. Due to my time and everything, I did not go that route, but I'm still a part of the RBC community. So if I do want to go to events, reach out to other business students, that's a great option there.
How many of your human resource and your RBC colleagues have you brought into your spin world?
I would say, wow. For Human Resource Association, I did teach a private cycle class to them, and they absolutely loved it. So about like 10 of them, I would say so.
That's a great idea. You need to pitch that to Bianca. She'll let you do that at the new rec center. You set up your welcome week of the spin. I'm sure she'll have something like that going on. I'm sure she's going to hear this episode or see this episode. She's been on the show a couple of times. I mean, I love her energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just making a part of the welcome week coming in and what students can. And that's something here. Let's talk about, because we got a minute to go before we end this segment. And I want to save the rest of the show after for your side action. What about welcome week? What was that like for you when you came in? Was that still on with COVID, or were you past that, or where was that with what your welcome week experience?
Yes. Coming here, COVID was finally getting lifted and everything. So we didn't have to really worry too much about that. But big thing is, one, meeting your next door neighbors in the dorms, and two, going to all of those events. So participation happens right across from McDonald Hall in East Neighborhood. One, you are meeting people, and two, you're also meeting organizations and clubs and making those connections, which is great.
Do you still maintain those connections and friendships today?
Oh, 100%. A club that I also joined for my freshman year, I'm still best friends with one of my friends I met in there.
How did it work with your living arrangement? Did you find yourself with a decent roommate your first year? I mean, you got your sister, but how was that? Was that okay?
Yes. We did have suite mates, which, can go back and forth because we kind of went in blind there. But living with somebody in close corners is a completely game changer. You have to learn how to mingle and like share things and do that.
Cooperate.
Yes. It's difficult, but she's still my best friend to this day as well.
I'm going to take this thing through here, everybody, resetting it. Journey into higher ed, talking about all kinds of different avenues that these students take is so fascinating to me, and where they're going in the future, and where we're going in the future with it. With segment 5, Ella's got some good stuff going on. She's got her side hustles, and I'm not just talking hustle. I'm talking hustles, several of them, and we'll talk about this whole thing because you ain't busy enough. If you're not busy enough, get a hold of calendar girl Ella. She'll help you out. You're listening to The Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is The Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. This week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Journey into higher ed with the fireball herself, Ella Bosley. Known Ella since she was a freshman. Now she's a senior. And she's in a dual role over there at the business college at Broad, hospitality and human. Is it hospitality and human resources, or is it just human resources?
Human resources and then labor relations for the master.
And labor relations.
Yep.
Okay. So human resources, labor relations, good major, really solid. And we want to talk a little bit more about that. But, we're not going to go down there. We kind of covered that a lot. We'll have Ella back for sure because she's got another, what do you got, another year and a half or 2 years before you finish the master's? How long do you have?
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years. But you know what, everybody? This goes by so quickly that, these little tidbits, if you listen to these things and you say, hey, if you've got your grandson or granddaughter or your son or daughter or you're a college student and you're like, ooh, I want to meet this girl because she's solid, go take her spin class. Do that. Hit her up. She gave you her phone number and her email in the previous segment, so you can get that on the podcast if you missed that. All right, let's talk about, let's go for it now. The side hustle thing. I've seen you doing some stuff with your photos and doing some social media, and you're parlaying your love for fitness, the cycling world, and you're kind of building it all together. You're a very attractive young woman, of course. It's like, but it's more than that. It's the healthy. You just come across as such an energizer bunny, so healthy. It's like, there's thousands and thousands of beautiful young men and women at Michigan State University, thousands of them. I mean, they're all over the place, men and women. But it's the healthy ones that can combine it with that, with the look in your eyes of like being sharp and you're really dialed in. That's what really sets you apart from the other, cattle call of all those beautiful people out there. You got it going on. What are you doing on the side here? How is do you have a strategy going with this, or is this sort of just like, hey, let's go have some fun and roll the dice? But this side action that you got going, the side hustle, let's talk about it. What's it all about?
Yes, thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Starting off, being a cycling instructor, you always want to do more for your participants. What can you do? What can you bring to them? Anything in that matter. So I did start with Huel. I got involved with Huel and everything. That is going to be a high protein company. But then I started going into BT Fast, which is the one that I really want to focus on today.
Say the brand again. BT Fast.
Yes, BT Fast.
So like Boy Thomas Fast.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Just want to make sure that we're clear, everybody. And there was a QR code that Ella sent over that I'm hoping that we will have on the recap. I'm going to ask Vanessa to do that, which I'm sure she will, for you guys to find the BT Fest. Go ahead. I wanted to just jump in there and make sure we were clear on that. Talk about this whole branding thing. First, before you jump in with the Huel and the BT Fast, how are you finding the time between everything else that you're doing to do this as well? How are you doing this?
Well, at the end of the day, I always tell myself there's always more. What more can I do? What more can I bring?
Right. That's the thing. That's the thing you guys want to know, you students out there and you young people and you parents. It's like even when you think your day's full, right? You still might have a little bit more juice in there. So go ahead. BT Fast. Let's talk about this BT Fast thing.
Yes. So promoting health and wellness, this honestly led me to these brands that I actually love and adore. BT Fast is actually sourced out here in Lansing. So all the food and product is out here in Lansing. When you guys go ahead and scan that QR code, it'll take you straight to that website and you can go ahead and choose your macro levels and things like that. So what actually BT Fast is, he is a meal prepping company. So he's a very young entrepreneur, again, here in Lansing. He focuses highly on micronutrient balanced food, as well as using no seed oil. So again, that's going to be a huge non-negotiable here in the fitness space right now with those zero seed oils, because one, you're getting that clean energy that actually sustains you throughout the day. And you're also not feeling sluggish from most of those olive oils and all of that type of stuff. So he's very careful about that. And lastly, that taste and convenience. So it tastes absolutely amazing. His overnight oats to his protein balls to even just his chicken and rice, top tier, absolutely incredible. you just buy it online, scan that QR code, and get shipped right to your house. So if you don't have the time to cook, if you don't have from fitness or working full time, anything like that, this is the thing for you.
So you could augment your schedule with this however you want to do it, between how much money you have, of course. Is the cost of these products, is it pretty reasonable?
It is pretty reasonable. We do try to target around that 40 to 50 age range or higher, just because it isn't going to be that normal college student price, So keeping that in mind. But
So more affordability so your demographic is a little bit of an older demographic. I see what you got. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Makes sense.
But again, if you are a college student and your parents are paying for your meal plan and you're not feeling the food, because I'm not going to lie, I got tired of it as a sophomore, you can sign up for this plan and maybe your parents will pay for that instead of your meal plan. So keeping that in mind as well. Again,
another financial strategy from Ella, because again, talking about meal plans, I don't think I've ever had a student talk about their meal plans. Maybe Anna Thomas did one time, but you do have choices. And so as a student for 4 years, you maybe, I'm looking at this as an augmentation to your daily cals. You have your day, you probably do a lot. Do you do a lot of meal prep weekly to get yourself ahead of the game? And if you do, talk about that some, would you please?
Yes, huge. Meal prep is like my number one thing I'll do on Sundays. One, it saves me time in the kitchen, and two, I don't have time in the kitchen during the week. So on Sundays, I'll go ahead and meal prep. I try to do a lunch and a dinner, and then I'll do hard-boiled eggs for the morning with berries and stuff. But you have to, again, think of those micronutrition. So you want to have your clean rice, you want to have that clean chicken, or if you want to do beef or something like that. And then again, that veggie. So hitting all of those macros, and I don't count calories, but.
So where do you shop?
Meijer and Trader Joe's is my thing.
Okay. So, but as a college student, this is what I'm trying to say, everybody, you have to have this. If you want to be successful, like an Ella Bosley, like a 3.8 GPA, is already in her master's program, you got to have good calendar skills. And by your shopping schedule, your meal prep schedule, you talk for Sundays, your meal prep day. If you use your BT Fast as your augmentation for your snacks, post or pre-workout kind of stuff, I see how that could be hugely beneficial. And if you buy your food at the grocery store, you are probably saving a ton of money. How much? I don't even know how much the meal plans and housing is now. What is that now? You're 1 year removed from the dorms, so you probably remember what that was. You just in the ballpark, how much was it for a year?
For a year, that's a tricky one. Honestly, I know it's kind of crazy, but
$5,000 isn't it something like about $5,000 a semester or something?
I want to say maybe a little bit over. Yeah, around $5,000-6,000 a semester.
It's substantial, you guys, and this is the thing. And you can be the university's got a lot of different programs for you and plans, but if you don't use it, you lose it. So if it's like, you don't want to have what we call swipes. You don't want to have 30 swipes on your card and you got a week of classes to go, because now you're just wasting money. So good tips though, more financial tips. The shopping, do you just fit that in throughout the week, or how do you do that? What's your tip?
Again, using that calendar, staying organized. When do I have time in the week? Whether that's a Friday after I work or a Saturday when I wake up type of thing. Just planning that out. Also using like your Meijer app and getting those coupons down, digital coupons, anything you can do to make yourself and your pocket a little better.
And she's done well. And I'm not going to say how much she's got in student loan debt, because I kind of know, she told me in a pre-show, but it's very doable. It's not like she's got $100,000 hanging over her head right now. So she's been very diligent about this kind of stuff. And it's all because of the calendar. I swear to God, if your side hustle, if you don't come up with a calendar app and you just kind of market it to students out there, I don't know why you're not. I mean, I'm sure Ella's calendar would be really cool. All right, I need a takeaway though, because we're going to come up on time here. Ella Bosley's been our guest today. Journey into higher ed. So many great little tips all over the place. Love her energy. What would you like to leave the listeners with for your first visit here, girl? What's your takeaway?
Yes, so whether you are a current student, incoming student, or a graduated student, finding your passion, finding your love in life, and again, sticking to that calendar and staying organized, you've got this.
She is Ella Bosley. She's from Flushing, Michigan. She's a senior in human resources and labor relations. She's already in her master's program, and she's going on and doing good things. You don't know your schedule yet at the new Rec Center for Teaching yet, right? You don't know when will you know your schedule for your spin class? Probably in August or July?
Yeah, Bianca usually tries to get us that out like around August time. So
okay. So again, Ella Bosley, email Bosley, el@msu.edu. Is that right? If you need any help with this, I'm not going to share the phone number. If you want to go back and get that phone number, it's in the third or fourth segment of the radio program or the podcast. Just go back and get that. But I'm telling you, your parents, Christy and Kevin, did a great job with you. I'm going to wrap this thing up, everybody. Ella Bosley's been with us today. Journey into higher ed. I love talking to students and young people like her. She's the real deal. I mean, she's the real deal. There's no phoniness about her. You just like, you look at them and you go, okay, there's got to be something wrong with this picture. And there really isn't. It's just like, maybe she's too busy, and it just shows you you're not busy enough, because Ella's doing it, and so can you. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guests, like an Ella Bosley. She's misorganized. That's how she's getting through college and saving money, because she's organized. Sponsorships are available, but you got to fit. Drop us a note on our contact box, tommattshow.com. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thanks again to Ella Bosley for being with us. Sandy, Brock, Fletcher, Mikey, everybody else at the selling team. We will talk to you next weekend, everybody. Have a great week. Go out and ignite your life. Remember, the Tom Matt Show is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Mitch Anderson and Vanessa. We are out.
The Tom Matt Show is produced by Mitch Anderson of Black Circle Studios. Original music from the Source of Light and Power by the Arc of All.